mainstay in pop culture and lunchboxes for more than 80 years.
Twinkie. That's a big Twinkie.
The Twinkie is an American icon. The vanilla cake stuffed with cream even made it into the National Millennium Time Capsule.
When you think about kind of the pantheon of food brands, there aren't a ton that kind of rise to the level of Twinkies.
But 2 bankruptcies, heavy debt loads, and changing tastes pushed Twinkies off shelves and almost to their death.
People were starting to sell boxes of Twinkies on eBay for $1,000 a pop. I mean, just crazy stuff, right? It was like the death of a piece of Americana.
But just when everyone thought that they were gone for good, Twinkies rose again. So what happened? Twinkies were invented in Schiller Park, Illinois in 1930. This guy, James Dewar, managed a bakery plant at the start of the Depression. He wanted to make better use of expensive strawberry shortcake equipment sitting unused when strawberries weren't in season, so he stuck banana cream in a shortcake. Dewar sold the Twinkies in packs of 2 for 5 cents. When bananas were rationed during World War II, the simple vanilla cream we know today became the filling. In the next 2 decades, Twinkies and its parent brand Hostess dominated the packaged cake market. Marketed to children in everything from TV commercials to Batman comics, Twinkies rose to the status of a cultural icon.
You're getting ready for school. Here's a swell dessert that you can take along with you. A package of 2 big Hostess Twinkies.
The Hostess snack cemented itself in kids' lunchboxes across America.
It was an affordable indulgence for families. It was just so woven into the fabric of the culture of America.
In 1971, the brand introduced its mascot, Twinkie the Kid.
It's Twinkie the Kid! Yahoo!
The anthropomorphic cowboy Twinkie became popular among kids for sharing his namesake cakes. But growing talk of Twinkie's high sugar content would soon butt heads with the brand's kid-friendly marketing. First, the Federal Trade Commission came down on Hostess for false nutritional claims. The agency concluded that sugar was the main ingredient in Twinkies. And then in '79, the trial of a San Francisco man charged with murdering the mayor gave rise to the term Twinkie defense. The defense team argued he had diminished capacity thanks to his addiction to Twinkies, and the murder charges were lessened to manslaughter. It was a trial that balked at the wholesome cake brand Hostess was trying to build.
Fresh, wholesome Hostess meets my tough standards. So when I say yes, it's Hostess.
Then began a string of new owners for Hostess. In the 70s, telephone company ITT ran Twinkie's parent company. In the 80s, dog food maker Purina acquired Hostess. And a decade later, it landed under its final owner, Interstate Bakeries Corporation. The sale created the largest baking company in the US, with, at its peak, 58 factories, over 10,000 delivery routes, a boost in Twinkie sales, and $3.2 billion in total sales. But in the late 90s, America's changing tastes would soon spell trouble for the sugar-packed Twinkies. With the growing popularity of low-carb, Atkins, and later the South Beach diets, some Americans were becoming more health-conscious. Loaded with calories, sugar, and preservatives most people hadn't heard of, let alone could pronounce, Twinkies became a casualty of the health revolution. Sales fell and then flattened. In October of '98, because of missed earnings, shares dropped 25% in just one day. But it wasn't just the product that was the problem. Pensions and raw goods got too costly. As other food companies were modernizing manufacturing, Hostess ran inefficient factories, operating at 54% capacity utilization.
That's very poor in the manufacturing world.
The company also relied on a tired delivery system.
A DSD model, direct store delivery model, has really high costs because you've got trucks, drivers, gas, insurance that you have to pay for. And you're going to every store in America every few days to drop off product.
Delivery alone ate up 36% of revenue.
An important way to capture this moment in time would be by filling a national time capsule.
In 1999, President Bill Clinton included a Twinkie in the National Millennium Time Capsule. So Twinkies still had a huge fan base. But by then, the damage to Hostess's bottom line had been done. By 2004, with $700 billion in debt, Twinkie's parent company, Interstate, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Over the next 5 years, Interstate cut 7,000 employees and shut down 8 factories. The company came out of bankruptcy in 2009 and rebranded itself Hostess Brands. But it didn't work.
But unfortunately, many of the legacy problems that really hampered the company didn't get solved through that bankruptcy.
Then the recession took a huge hit on Hostess's bottom line, with year-over-year sales down 20%. To make matters worse, a worker strike and labor disputes soon followed.
That fight turned into production stopping, and the management team then threatened to shut the company down, given pressure from its creditors. And that's exactly what happened.
By January 2012, with nearly $1 billion in debt, Hostess Brands filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy again.
The company that makes Twinkies, Wonder Bread, and Ding Dongs announced this morning that it is going out of business.
In November, Twinkies were pulled from shelves, and headlines across the country reported the death of Twinkies.
Customers started, honestly losing their minds over it.
People who would have never cared about Twinkies, in fact,